Good morning. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance for this slightly foggy Tuesday. Hope you're all getting off to a good start today. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, and we have an awesome card for today. Of course, I say that most days, don't I? But I'm really pleased with this card because I think it really fosters some deep thought. So, hopefully Cindy will pop on and be our scribe for today again. Good morning, Linda. You are the first one on today. Welcome, welcome. So it comes from the Allowing Prayers deck, which is 57 invitations to spark a conversation with your soul. Good morning, good morning. Glad you are here. Welcome, welcome. Waiting for everybody to kind of roll in here. I'm going to move this a little closer. Good morning, Susan. Welcome. The cute little bird sitting in the... I call it a peace ring. I think it's a peace ring. The card deck is by Siobhan Nash. Good morning, Cindy. Welcome. And someone else just shot past. Let me see if I can... Nope, can't see. So, glad you're here, though. And this card... Good morning, Lucy. You know how I always say... Good morning, thank you for the hearts. How I always say, thank you for the sunshine, that if something keeps popping up, Good morning. Oh, that's a beautiful sunrise. Thank you for that. Awesome. If something keeps popping up, good morning, Mel, that we need to pay attention to it. You know, if it knocks once, okay. If it knocks twice, start perking up your ears. If it knocks more than that, wake up. Let's pay attention. We've got a message here, something to really, really focus on. And that is it for today. Allow focus. Allow focus. And so there were a couple of things yesterday as I was doing my Tony Robbins homework. Much of that was on focus. And so I have a new 3x5 card sitting on my desk. I'll show you. I even put it in a fun little holder. The gist of it is I learned it as a quadrant system. He describes it as rings. But when we're in that outer ring of things that are not urgent and are not important, but we waste a whole lot of time there. Taking a look at, good morning, Judy, glad you're here. Taking a look at how much time are we spending on things that we could just kind of fall into. They're not important, and they're not urgent. They're just kind of meh, but we spend time there. We waste our precious time there, to put it more clearly. Coming in a ring, it's things that are urgent but not important. So that's the phone ringing, and it's the 800th call that isn't anybody but a robot. Good morning, Beth. It's the ping of your text messages. And most of them aren't necessary either. It's the bing on your email, and how much of that is stuff that we really would behoove us to take the time to, good morning, Beth, to unsubscribe, right? Then there are the things coming in that are important and urgent. I mean, they get your attention. Part of the reason they get your attention is because you've probably blown them off for a chunk of time. They really were in our last category, which we'll get to in a second here. But you blow it off, you blow it off, you blow it off. Good morning, Peggy. And then all of a sudden it's urgent. It's like, oh my God, I've got to register for this retreat today. Deadline is today. Or I've got to pay for my my taxes, or I've got to pay for my driver's license, or whatever it is. But it's something that was important that you blew off, and now all of a sudden it's urgent. You got to do it. All right? And then there's the center, what he calls the targeted area, which is the things that are important but not urgent. And blowing them off a lot. Again, they're the ones that then move from important and urgent because we haven't attended to them. He suggests spending 40 to 60% of your time doing the things that are important but not urgent. Getting your will done, getting your powers of attorney done, spending time with family members. Good morning, Diane. Welcome. Glad you are here. Doing meditation, physical activity that you love in nature. Those are the things that are important but not urgent. And so too often we shove them to the back and we never get to them. And he talks a lot in what I learned yesterday about focus, 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 focus. And is he teaching me anything I haven't already known? No, but it's coming to my forebrain again, so I pay attention to it, so I remind myself of it, so I do something about it. So one of those things for me is this. This one actually has kind of a important, urgent feel to it because I do it every day. If it gets to be like 6:30 and I haven't jumped on here yet, I would feel that urgency, that pull. Okay, something's missing. I need to connect with my peeps, need to check in with my practical rebels. So allow focus. Allow focus. And there are 3 questions on this card. I think there's 3 questions on this card because this is so important. And again, we drift off focus and we don't attend to the stuff that's important. In this next generation that's coming up, I'm very worried about this particular aspect because they are so used to bells and whistles and immediate answers and flashing and drama and all this stuff that's what their body has gotten used to. So when it's something, I was doing a session with a teacher last night from out on the West Coast, and she was talking about how difficult it is to engage students because they're so used to flash, bing, pow, wow. And when they're talking about something deep, say they're taking a book and they're talking about a part of the book that really is a deep thinking part, they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to do it. So we need to get back to engaging people in things. Reading a book doesn't have a whole lot of bells and whistles. It can certainly engage you. Witness the Harry Potter series. But again, it's something that isn't going to keep that stimulation thing going the way that a whole cohort now has been trained to be. So let's go through our focus questions and take a minute right now to just think about it or jot something down. But also come back to it. Take some time with it. Really resonate with these questions and see what they have to tell you. And one of the things I'm going to suggest is people don't want to answer these questions because they're going to have to take a look at what really isn't working in their lives. When we are brave enough to take a look at, yeah, that's really not working for me, and it's uncomfortable, and I'm going to have to leave my comfort zone, this familiar place. It's meh, but it's familiar, and go into the unknown, into the unfamiliar, to find what's new, what's next, what am I meant to be doing, etc. A lot of people are going to stay in the comfort zone. Don't be those people. Please don't be those people. Because I believe you get to the end of your life and you look back and you go, what was that for? What did I learn? What was the point? I'm going to get to the end of my life. I've already told myself this, where again, I like the slide in there sideways with the wine in one hand and just, you've lived a life. You've done stuff. You've failed spectacularly. You've screwed stuff up. You've learned a bunch. You've loved hard. You've gone places. You've done things. That's how I'm going out. Whenever it's time, that's how I'm going out. Okay? So here is our first question. Cindy, if you wouldn't mind putting it in the feed, I would appreciate it. If you don't worry, I'll do it afterwards. What if, instead of an outward order, focus became an inward invitation? And some of you are going, what the hell does that mean? What if, instead of an outward order, focus became an inward invitation? So again, how many of us are focused out there? This bell's going off. I have to attend to that. I need to do this. This is on, I've got a timer set for that. It's the call from outside. People calling you saying, hey, Mom, can you pick up the kids from daycare? All those external demands on us that pull our focus. Or focus becoming an inward invitation. So I had another epiphany yesterday. I've shared a couple, my first epiphany was a couple of days ago, and I've shared with a couple people, that I'm really here to learn faith and trust. This time around, I'm really here to learn faith and trust. Instead of believing I have to do this all myself, I have to figure it all out, people don't show up for me, blah, blah, blah. I'm here to learn faith, and trust. So then I started bargaining with God. Okay, God, if you don't mess around with this area and maybe, test me on faith and trust over here instead, that'd be great. Really, Bonnie? So, however it comes, it comes. Yes, what if instead of an outward order, focus became an inward invitation? So there was an inward invitation there that blossomed out of that awareness, that epiphany. Oh, I need to be attending to faith and trust. I need to be looking for opportunities to practice it. I need to be willing to step out of the comfort zone and into the discomfort zone of telling people what I want and need, inviting people to show up for me, opening the door and seeing what happens. Okay, so that was one epiphany. The other epiphany that came yesterday, let me see if I can pull it, is how much time I waste in what seems like logical pursuits. I'm going to get all these little things done and out of my way, then I can focus. On one hand, that may seem to have some logic behind it. On the other hand, what it means is I never get to the things that are important. Thus, my daily routine. The reason I put my routine in the morning is it keeps me from getting sucked away into, and not that it never happens, Vicky calls or whatever, but I'm far less likely to derail this inner focus time, this inward invitation to spend time with me in the silence and learn what needs to be learned and create my plan for how am I going to put this into my life? Where's this going to fit in? What's it going to look like, sound like, feel like? Remember our VAC worksheet. So, what if instead of an outward order, focus became an inward invitation? That's question one. Here's the second one. Where is your soul inviting you to look closer or dig a little deeper? Where is your soul inviting you to look closer or dig a little deeper? And I'm going to suggest to you with that one, it's kind of like your soul is whispering, hey, over here, go this way. Don't go that way, go this way. Hey, I got something to show you. Very quietly. It doesn't scream and holler at us until and if we've blown it off, and the universe says, okay, she needs to get the point. So let me get out the velvet hammer and go wonk right between her eyes with something, a car accident, an illness, whatever, something, loss of a job, something that makes you go, whoa, I really got to take a look at this, right? Relationship stuff. How many of us tolerate not good relationships, allowing people to run us over, etc., because we don't value ourselves enough. Good morning, Pat. Welcome, welcome. We don't value ourselves enough to say, hey, wait a minute, this isn't okay with me. Thus, we're going through the Taking the War Out of Our Words book because she gives us the words. She gives us all these beautiful little vignettes where you can go, yeah, I lived that one. I know that one. How do they get out of it? How do they handle it? How do they deal with it? And then she puts the words in there. No, that doesn't work for me. If you continue to do X, I will do Y. You've done X. I'm now going to do Y. Wait. I won't do it again. I won't do it. No, we're already into this. You've already done the thing. So now I need to follow through with my consequence. To be showing up for you and showing up for me, I need to follow through with the consequence. You'll have another opportunity. I used that one with my kids a lot. Nope, you screwed it up this time, but you'll have another opportunity. So this time we need to follow through on the outcome that I've already predicted for you. You lose your bike, you lose your rollerblades, no TV, whatever it would be, no phone. You want to kill my daughter, take her phone away. So, and again, for each kid it was different. What motivated my son did not motivate my daughter, and vice versa. So I had to figure out what was juicy enough for each of them and deal in that. And not be handing out consequences that were going to cost me. So, yeah, where is your soul inviting you to look closer or dig a little deeper? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to go there? If your soul is going, come here, I want to show you something. Are you willing to go there? Those 2 epiphanies I've had in the last couple of days, I could have chosen to stuff them back where they came from and not allowed them to teach me what I'm meant to be taught right now, okay? But I wrote them down, I put them on 3x5 cards, I journaled about them, I talked to people about them. I want them to be real. I want them to stick. I want them to be in my face, so I'm paying attention and doing my work with that. If the universe is giving me the gift of learning faith and trust, who am I not to take that gift? So that's the second question. So we've had, what if instead of an outward order, focus became an inward invitation? Where is your soul inviting you to look closer or dig a little deeper? And then the last question is, what next step would you take if you followed that focus? What next step would you take if you followed that focus? And if you think of a step and it scares the Pewadden out of you, figure out a step on the way to that step, okay? So let me think of one that is coming out of this. There's a phone call I'm going to make to someone at some point in time, but I feel like a step in that direction is I need to do some research. I need to Google some stuff. I need to learn a language that I don't typically speak before I call this person so that I'm educated when I call him. So what about for you? What would be a next step that you could take to follow that focus? What is that? Oh, Pewadden? That comes from my friend Kathy Shehorn, whose first birthday in heaven was yesterday. And she passed at 62, I believe, 63. Please take good care of your health, everyone. And that was one of her words. Scared the Pewadden out of me. I think it's Peewaddin. That's how I conceive of it. But yes, Pewadden. Yes, what next step would you take if you followed that focus? And again, if you come up with a step, well, I'm going to retool myself into a different career, and then you go, what's a baby step? Well, I could do some research on what are some of the things that I like, what classes are being offered. Is there maybe one class I could start with that would put my toe in the water a bit, okay? So what would be a next step? What would be a reasonable next step? What would be a ridiculously small, I can certainly accomplish this next step? Just take one. If you'd like to post your next step, you can put the answers to all the questions. That'd be fabulous. But you can also just post your next step so that we can help hold big space for you. And I personally am okay with the words, hold me accountable. Make sure I show up for me. Other people don't like that hold me accountable thing. That's fine. But if we can hold space for you to take this next step, fabulous. Again, I always say we've overvalued leaps and bounds, and we've vastly undervalued baby steps. 1 degree of difference over time gets us to a very different place. A very different place. So that's it for today. Focus. Allow focus. What would you like to take some time, invest some time in focusing on today? You could focus on it by journaling. You could focus on it by doing a walking meditation about it. You just go out for a walk and you allow yourself to think about it. You could allow yourself to talk to someone about. Take a master class to create an eventual podcast. Fabulous. Fabulous, fabulous. Yes. It can be, so there's lots of things there. You can research the master classes. You can watch some other people's podcasts and see, who do I really like what they do? What kind of an outline could I create off of what they've done? You can, there's a wonderful guy. His name is Brad. Let me pull it. Actually, no, let me go back and look. He's out of Boston. Brad Powell. Brad at awesomevideomakers.com. And I've taken a bunch of his classes, and they are fabulous. So Brad at awesomevideomakers.com, Brad Powell, he is a videographer and he has lots of content out there. He does his own podcast, but he has lots of content out there on how you create something, how you create this thing. I've taken several of his classes and it's been very helpful. In fact, he's the reason you're watching me right now. I didn't know anything about doing Facebook videos, Facebook Live. And so took a little class from him and took the leap and did it, and was terrified the first several times and was so worried about, oh, I sound funny, and, oh, that background is terrible. And now I just jump on and do it because you're not interested in what I sound like. You're interested in what I'm saying. Yes? I need to stop trying to learn stuff and take time to go within. Be in silence so I can hear my authentic self. Yes. So let's make that an experiment, Cindy. I'm going to experiment with a small amount of time getting in tune with myself in the silence every day. How comfortable am I doing that? Damn, I'm not very comfortable. No wonder I avoid this. Okay, what would make this more comfortable? Well, if I did it a little more, I'd probably get used to it a bit. I'm not hearing anything. It's like crickets. I always did. So I had an alarm set. Sorry. Good morning, Rebecca. Glad you're here. Whenever I try to cease an alarm, it disconnects the video. So, technology. So I'm a good example for all of you in terms of technology not being my gig, And so I've got one going on right now with Zoom. 3 times I have sent them a thing of I have no space and I can't get rid of the videos that remain because it says they're open and they need to be closed before getting rid of them. And there doesn't seem to be any way to close them because they're not open in the first place. So it's taking up space. It's not allowing me to record the new videos I want to record. So yes, technology. But being willing to engage with it, being willing to do it anyway, being willing to do it imperfectly, to create a hot mess. If I went back and looked at those first videos I did, I'd probably roll my eyes. I'm sure they were. I mean, I had scripts. I had scripts propped in front of me. I didn't just talk. And some of you might say, well, you might want to go back to the scripts, lady. But the point is, I'm now much more comfortable doing this because I've done it for however many years now, right? So tackle something. Cindy, tackle it. Take a few minutes, 10 minutes. Set a timer. Make it an experiment. I'm going to see what happens within when I sit for 10 minutes. Well, maybe I could go put a load of laundry. Nope, I'm just sitting. Well, maybe I'm hungry. Nope, it's just sitting. Over and over and over again. So very much like meditating, right? And don't believe that you can't do it. Don't believe that you can't do it. Of course you can do it. However you do it is good enough. Have an awesome day. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you are capable of far more than you think you are. And again, I want to thank all of you who chose to take advantage of my birthday specials and my one-shot deal 12-session coaching package. I'm looking forward to getting started with all of you. And we'll see you again tomorrow for some more insight. As for today, allow focus. Bye.